All hands on deck today for White House officials on a day where the team is continuing to try to figure out and solve the North Korea nuclear provocations. This is, by the way, a day when the president reached out to his South Korean counterpart, but it was also a day that saw an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council that really got things going.
The time for half measures in the Security Council is over.
In a scathing rebuke of Pyongyang's latest nuclear test, U.S. Ambassador to the UN Nikki Haley implored the international body again to act decisively and increase sanctions pressure on the renegade North Korean regime.
To the members of the Security Council, I must say, enough is enough. We have taken an incremental approach, and despite the best of intentions, it has not worked.
Haley's called for a second Security Council meeting this week, signaling the administration's threadbare patience with the North's leader, Kim Jong-un, with Defense Secretary James Mattis warning Pyongyang over the weekend that the U.S. was prepared for battle if necessary.
Any threat to the United States or its territories, including Guam, or our allies, will be met with a massive military response, a response both effective and overwhelming.
Since 2006, including a unanimous resolution just last month, North Korea has defied more than a half-dozen Security Council condemnations over its nuclear and missile development, which its leader has called a just response to military threats by the U.S. and South Korea. The North's latest provocation, its sixth nuclear test, drew a sharp response by the president, who called it very hostile and dangerous in a tweet. With sanctions ineffective, the thinking now inside the White House is that hitting Pyongyang's economy and economic allies just might work, a strategy clearly aimed at the North's principal trading partner, China, about whom the president tweeted, "The United States is considering, in addition to other options, stopping all trade with any country doing business with North Korea."
We have pushed forward with this approach and push to try to remove the money that goes into North Korea that helps fund its illegal ballistic and nuclear weapons program.
China, which supplies most of North Korea's food and fuel, criticized the threat, with the country's foreign minister spokesman saying, quote, "What is definitely unacceptable to us is that on the one hand we worked so hard to peacefully resolve this issue, and on the other hand our interests are subject to sanctions and jeopardized. This is unfair." As for the proposal from China and Russia for a so-called freeze for freeze, one in effect which would have North Korea freeze its nuclear ambitions in exchange for the U.S. and South Korea freezing nuclear and military training exercises, UN Ambassador Nikki Haley called it frankly insulting. She said, and I'm quoting now, "If you have a rogue regime that has a nuclear weapon and an ICBM pointed at you, the last thing you want to do is take down your guard." And that is something that everybody would agree with, Mike.
Kevin Corke at a busy White House on this Labor Day. Kevin, thanks.